This question has come up time and time again throughout the internet. Time to put an end to this argument. Before we start, there are several things to note. The Jurassic Park raptors contain the DNA of the frog genus Rana, the frog species Hyperoleus viridiflavus, and, I suspect, types of lizards, especially varanids, or monitor lizards. Lizard DNA is outright stated for 3 of the Jurassic World Raptor Squad animals, the exception being Delta, whom apparently had more avian DNA. And before anyone says it, I am very much aware that the creatures in the films and books and comics and all Jurassic Park media are extraordinarily inaccurate to what our modern view of dromaeosaurid dinosaurs is like. Lack of feathers, pronated arms, tooth arrangement, more carnosaurian skull shape, apparent lack of the extremely massive prezygapophyses, or the little tail things here, of the distal caudals. The list goes on and on. I should say that I have encountered arguments that the manus pronation is actually possible, but I've yet to do enough research to say if I agree or disagree. I viewed the Jurassic Park series with the headcanon that almost all the quote-unquote cloned dinosaurs are nothing but mishmashes of lizard, amphibian, and original dinosaur DNA. Note that I say almost, since in Jurassic World, in either the film or the promotional material I can't actually recall, they have nearly perfect DNA for many species. Which I actually agree. Take the Baryonyx and the Edmontosaurus. Those are actually nearly perfect to our modern view of them. Now, the Stegosaurs, Apatosaurs, and others could have walked out of an early 1900s Charles R. Knight painting. We also need to note that Jurassic Park is a fictional universe where DNA can be extracted from mosquitoes preserved in amber, which is not possible in real life. With that out of the way, let's move on. So, the truth is, there are several answers to this question, actually. Answers out of universe, answers in lore, in movies, in novels. Very answers all around. So, there are several genera, not genre for books, but genera, plural of genus, which people have come to associate with this raptor. Velociraptor mongoliensis, Deinonychus anteropus, Utahraptor ostromacerum, Achilobartor giganticus, and Dakotaraptor steini. We can cross the legitimate velociraptor right off the list. Sort of. It was in reality the size of a large turkey. However, in Michael Crichton's original Jurassic Park novel, on page 120, the following exchange is given. Velociraptor, Alan Grant said in a low voice. Velociraptor mongoliensis, Wu said, nodding. A predator. This one's only 6 weeks old. I just excavated a raptor, Grant said, as he bent down for a closer look. Except Wu's wrong. Unless, of course, they have 2 types of raptor on the island, but no evidence in the book suggests that, and would actually contradict some plot points later on. Wu, not being a paleontologist himself, may have looked up the species name for the member of the genus Velociraptor found in Asia. We'll touch on that later on. So the verdict is yes and no. Now, on page 127 of the same book, Ellie said, but the animal we just saw, the Velociraptor, you said it was a Mongoliensis? From the location of the amber, Wu said. It is from China. Interesting, Grant said. I was just digging up an infant Anteropus. Are there any full-grown raptors here? Now, here's something very odd. Michael Crichton's main scientific resource for Jurassic Park was a book called Predatory Dinosaurs of the World by Dr. Gregory S. Paul, one of the best in the business. But he is what's known as a lumper, a paleontologist who taxonomically lumps animals previously considered distinct into one category. While I actually agree on lumping to a certain extent, when you put this and this into the same genus, That's a little too far, which he later agreed were separate genera. Though he later revised this, he put Deinonychus into the book as Velociraptor Anthropus, and Crichton put it into Jurassic Park. That said, can Deinonychus be a raptor? Well, no. While it is larger than Velociraptor, it's still not large enough to be the raptor shown throughout the Jurassic Park series. And the Deinonychuses we found can't be juveniles either, since we found numerous specimens of them, and we're pretty sure we've got adults. Not to mention, it's only been found in North America, so it can't be the ones Wu was referring to. Then again, there are numerous sources that state the Jurassic Park raptor was modeled after Deinonychus in almost every way. This is complicated. Verdict: yes and no. This is probably the one most commonly referred to as the real Velociraptor from Jurassic Park. That is wrong. For starters, it's from the USA, not China or Mongolia, and it's too big to be the JP Raptors. These are big guys. Fighting one of these would be extremely painful for you. Aside from the size, the skull shape doesn't match up. The main reason for this misconception is that the holotype, or original specimen of Utahraptor, was found during the last stages of the production of the film, and famous paleontologist Dr. Robert Bacher told director Steven Spielberg, "We found your raptor." Unfortunately, to us insufferable nitpickers, it doesn't add up exactly. Verdict is no. I believe we've got a very likely contender here. It matches location-wise, even though it's a little too small to match up size-wise to the JP Raptors. But to my knowledge, there's only one specimen, and it could have been a subadult. But the major problem is that its discovery was only published years and years after the books and films came out. The Jurassic Park wiki claims that predatory dinosaur of the world states that there's a large Mongolian raptor, which people have extrapolated would have later been given the genus Oculobator. Despite this, I've scoured my own copy of the book to no avail. The verdict is, Some believe that this is it. Again. It matches size-wise, but it's from North America, and was discovered years and years later. The verdict is no. Well, actually, there is a way it could be in the series, lore-wise. If this is a juvenile, as stated in the book, there's no way that's a juvenile Deinonychus. Quite possibly, Dr. Grant confused Deinonychus for this much larger genus, which won't be published for another 25 years. I guess this means Dr. Grant never published this find, which is odd since it's extremely well preserved. Fiction. And it means he's found multiple. If this one is small enough, he considers it a juvenile. So I guess in the end, Dr. Grant has found multiple Dakota raptors and claimed they were Deinonychus. Guess he's a lumper like Dr. Paul. Great, so we've got no concrete answers. Unless... It could possibly be based on an unknown genus from Asia, or it might be either of the Mongolian genera we know, but with so many traits exhibited in these which would not have been found in the originals, its possible size, featherlessness, and the like could simply have been genetic mishaps from the quote-unquote cloning process. Out of universe, it's possible Crichton confused or exaggerated the size of his creatures. We unfortunately will never know, as he passed away in 2008. Some in-universe evidence for this, flimsy as it may be, comes from a Jurassic World t-shirt. The X-rayed skull shown here clearly does not correspond to any real Dromaeosauridae genus. So, is this odd skull shape because it belongs to an unknown genus, or is it from genetic mishmashing that also gave the raptors scaly skin and other traits inaccurate to the real animals? So, in conclusion, The most likely case in-universe for exactly what genus the raptors are is it's likely an unknown one from Asia, or either a velociraptor or oculobator genetically mangled into something near unrecognizable. Out of universe, Crichton likely got confused between a velociraptor, Deinonychus, and turned up the size for either confusion or for dramatic effect. Thanks for watching.